Alrighty, hello and welcome to another video by the Laser Sports Academy. Today's video, I'm going to give you my 3 simple step system that I apply in dodging scenarios. All too often I see people dodging and they do it without any kind of rhyme or reason. They just kind of like flail their bodies around without any kind of structure to it. So yeah, the simple 3-step system I've created is to kind of deal with that and to make sure that we're dodging the best way we can in every scenario. Hey there, just quickly before we go into the rest of the video, we were having a look at our analytics and supposedly there's 47% of our viewers that aren't subscribed yet. So if you're enjoying the channel and liking the content we're putting out and you want to show your support, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you can stay up to date with any new uploads, and yeah, I'll leave you to the rest of the video. Alright, so the first step in this system is to close the distance to our opponent that we're taking the duel against. The reason you do this is because the closer you are to someone when you execute any kind of dodging maneuver, the more it means they have to adjust their phaser. So if I was stood really far away from someone, and even if I executed the perfect dodge, right? If I'm too far away, it's not even gonna matter, like, because of how the IR spreads and, you know, like, because of the distance, you're just as likely to just expose like another sensor, especially as a skinny guy like me. But as soon as you get really close to people, all of a sudden your movements matter a lot more, and a lot of what the dodge is like making them miss. And the way you make them miss is you make them have to drastically adjust the angle of their phaser. Alrighty, so the second step of our dodging system is to identify the angle of my opponent's phaser and to present a sensor for them, to them for me to take away later. So identifying the angle of the opponent's phaser is really important because there's some dodges that just straight up aren't going to work, right? So for instance, if Mikey here had a low posture, I'm not going to use my high posture dodges because I'm just going to be giving him I'm just going to give him an easier shot on my sensors. Similarly, if he had a high posture, I'm not going to use my low posture dodges because it's not taking the sensors away. A lot of what makes the dodge successful is presenting a sensor to them, like a really juicy sensor or like the only sensor that they can see easily without moving around. And then when you execute the dodge, you're taking that shot away, forcing them to miss, and then giving you an opportunity to shoot them for free. On to the third and final step of the dodging system. We have executing the dodging maneuver. What this looks like is going to be completely different based on your age, body type, speed, personality, all of those things. But that's what I think is really cool about dodging, is there's a bit more freedom of self-expression. So what your dodge looks like, you know, I'll leave that up to you guys to develop. But my recommendations are to develop at least 1, if not 2 dodges for when they have high posture, and then 1 or 2 dodges for when they have low posture. And the dodges should comprise of at least a couple different movement patterns, which I'll go over now. So we have rotational movement, we have horizontal movement, we have vertical movement, and we have diagonal movement, right? In my experience, the best dodges that I've seen executed, and from using them myself, they'll usually combine more than one, sometimes 2 or 3 of those movement patterns together to make a really powerful dodge. So for instance, one of my favorite dodges that I like to use when people have like a high posture, to be honest, this one I like to use like if they have high or low posture. But what I'll do is just before I activate I'll take a step towards them, and then as I'm activating, I'll step back. So that's my horizontal movement. And then as I'm activating, I like to lift up onto my tippy toes, so I have a little bit of vertical movement as well. I also dip my head forwards, so I kind of shoot my butt backwards, so we have a bit of diagonal movement as well. So in combining all of those things together, and I rotate a little bit as well, based on when I see their phaser go. So that's combining 4 of those movement patterns together. You don't have to do that much, but yeah, in my experience, the more of the movement patterns you combine together, the more effective the dodge is going to be. But yeah, go out there, develop your own dodging, and let me know how you go with it. Pretty sure I covered. Alrighty, so that wraps it up for our 3 simple step system for dodging for today. I think applying simple systems to what is usually a very dynamic and potentially complex thing really helps in producing like replicable and consistent results, which when you're wanting to compete at the highest levels, that's kind of what it's all about, right? That being said, as fun as dodging is, it's never like my plan A. I'll usually always go for, paneling or just out positioning, out maneuvering first. But occasionally there'll be situations where, if you're playing Lord of the Rings, you don't have much other option, right? But sometimes in like actual games as well, just depending on what's happening in the game, you need to win this duel right now. There's no panels close by, you don't have time, and you just need to win that duel. That's where I think dodging comes in handy really well, just to give you that slight edge in that duel. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know how you go implementing the system, and we'll see you in the next video.